Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Havens Tribe. Today I'm going to do some services on the vehicles, kind of go over things that I like to check over when I service them. And then I kind of want to give you a little bit of an update on the heated room. We went ahead and got the deep freezer out here. It's behind me. It's in the same place where the refrigerator used to be. And right now the temperature is about 22 degrees. And inside the building, I haven't checked it yet. I'll show you the temperature on both of those. Right now I got both vehicles warming up to drop the fluids in them. Since it's so cold, I wanted to start them up, get them warmed up, so it's easier to drain the oil out a little bit quicker. First vehicle I'm going to go ahead and service is my '08 Ford Taurus. I drive this car back and forth to work. I don't drive it too far. It's a really nice car, low miles. Bought it off my parents. They bought it brand new. And just go through this, change the oil, check over fluids, stuff like that. Go ahead and pop the hood here. It's got the 3.5 liter V6 in it. Gonna go ahead and change the oil. I like to put the oil in it recommended. I use Valvoline, which you'll see me putting in Napa brand. Napa oil is made by Valvoline. And I also like to put a quart of Lucas in it. Just kind of help lubricate things, keep things moving the way they should. Things I like to check is, antifreeze, power steering fluids, brake fluids, and then if I need washer fluid, I'll top it off. Also like to check the air filter, make sure it's not plugged. I've already popped it open and checked it before I went and got my filters. I always check that before I go and get filters, because if I need a new air filter, I'll go ahead and replace it. I actually replaced it a couple years ago. And it's still fine because I don't drive it very far. Doesn't really get into any dirt, dust, whatever. I drive it, probably 10 minutes to work, 10 minutes back. So, alright, first thing I like to do, since it's already warmed up, I'm going to go ahead and drop the oil in it. Because that way, while the oil's draining, I can check everything else and get all that checked over, and add fluids if I have to add fluids. Go ahead and jack it up here. Make sure while you're jacking these vehicles up, if you have to change the oil, do not put it in a place where it's not supported by the frame, or else you'll have issues like cracking the radiator, or busting an oil pan, or just generally busting something you really don't want to bust. Well, I like to jack it up just a little bit, just enough to get up underneath it. Takes a 15 millimeter socket. Depending on some of these vehicles, they either take a 15 millimeter or 17 millimeter. I haven't really had anything take anything bigger or smaller. Just pop that loose. Pop the drain plug out. Let her drain. Alright, let's come back at the top here. Go ahead and pull my dipstick. I always like to pull my dipstick out. Clean it off, just set it off the side. I think, yeah, transmission's here. Gotta check that while it's running. I'll check that last. Pretty sure I need washer fluid. Kind of running low on that, I think. Antifreeze is good. Power steering's good. They got little marks here. Tells you where the, where it's supposed to be at for the level. And there's one on the brake. Master cylinder. The reservoir here, it's got lines here. Tells you minimum, maximum. It's in the right area. Pop the cap off here. Go ahead and add my washer fluid. Always buy the Rain-X 2-in-1 all season. Clearly it's good for all year round, plus it's good up to like negative 20, yeah, negative 25 degrees, so it won't freeze on me. Yep, I'd say it's pretty low. It almost took a whole gallon. I think the whole thing is about a gallon. Makes the oil filters a lot easier to get off too if you warm up your vehicle, because over time when you put your oil filter on with it heating and expanding and then cooling, they'll get really tight. When you try to take them off cold, sometimes they are really hard to get off. Then I always like to take a rag, look up at where the filter goes, clean it off, make sure that the old O-ring that was on the filter does not stick to it, because I have had that happen before on one of Bug's cars, and I double O-ringed it and went to start it, and she started yelling at me to stop because there was oil pouring out, and I found out that I double O-ringed it, and it wasn't pretty. I had to had to put oil back in the engine. There was a lot that came out. I mean, it covered the whole garage. Alright, now it's cleaned. I got it checked. Go ahead and move this one. Go ahead and try to soak up some of that already. Try to clean up some of the oil around it. I always get my filters from Napa. I get really good discount at Napa. Always seems to be cheaper than everybody else. Plus, they're a pretty good brand. I believe they're made by Wix. Always take a little bit of the used oil and spread it around the O-ring. That way when you put it on, it's not, you're not trying to seal it on a dry seal. and it does, you know, it'll make it slide a little easier as you're tightening it. Just so you don't disturb the seal and damage it. If it, you know, most likely that won't happen, but it helps prevent damage of the seal and makes a better seal that way. Filters in. Looks like we're still kind of trickling, but I normally like to wait until it's completely ran out, which since I've warmed it up, it ran out pretty quick. Go ahead and put my plug back in. Tighten up your plug. Do not over tighten it. Just take it, snug it. Doesn't need to be really tight. You strip the bolt out in the oil pan. It doesn't go over very well. You possibly replace an oil pan and paying a lot of money to do that. Pull out my pans. And we'll go ahead and set her down. Also wanted to mention too, when I was putting the oil filter on, normally you just do it by hand, you know, tighten it by hand. You don't want to put it on with a filter wrench, because then when it does heat, expand and contract, it'll get so tight that you cannot remove the filters. And I've had that happen before, not on vehicles. I've had it happen on tractors and stuff that I've worked on, and they get so tight, I've had to remove filter bases and pretty much put them in a vise and rip the filter off. I've had to cut filters off before, and it's not a fun process. So, yep, I got 5W20 like it says. Like I say, it says Napa, full synthetic, but it's made by Valvoline. And I'm not saying Valvoline's the best engine oil, whatever. I mean, it's what I like to run. It's what I've always ran. Of course, I normally use a funnel for this. I don't know why I ain't got one. Better off to use a funnel. Using a funnel is a lot better than, you don't get engine oil running down the front of your engine. Then when you're driving, it starts smoking. Yeah, that's not a good deal. I normally do this with quarts, but when I went and bought it, the guy didn't give me quarts. He gave me a 5-quart jug. So, which is fine. But normally when I do it with quarts, I can, at least, if I have a little left over, I can have it just in a little quart, not in a 5-quart jug. So now, what I like to do is, I always buy a gallon of Lucas oil, and I can measure it out. It only needs 1 quart. So, like this, I could do 4 oil changes. It's definitely cheaper this way too. I think it was like 25 bucks for the gallon, and normally you pay $7 per quart. So if you add that up, it definitely costs way less to get it in a gallon. This stuff is super thick. And right now, I don't know if I'm going to get it in a quart. Because of how thick it is. Right now, it's kind of like syrup. might take me a minute or two. Should have took this inside so it flows better. Yeah.
Do you think size large or extra large for long gown?
Hold on a second. Think size large or what?
Size large or extra large for long gown?
I'd probably say extra large. I'll show you here. As you can tell, I poured that in and it's not going down. Of course, with being about 30 degrees right now, it's warmed up a little bit, but it's not going down. I'm probably gonna have to take this inside to warm it up. Alright, now I'm finally back. It's only been about 10 minutes, I guess, 10-15 minutes. Had to, I got a wall heater inside. I had to stand in front of it for a little bit. Get it warmed up. I didn't think that through. So, I'm going to do this without the funnel because, number one, it's really hard to get out, but since I got it warmed up, it's going to go in pretty easy. Alright, next I got my 2010 Chevy Express 3500 12 passenger van. This one I kind of checked over a little bit before, but change oil, change air filter, oil filter, and check fluids in it also. Go ahead and shut it off, had it running for a little bit, and then pop the hood. Yeah, down here. So it's got the 6-liter in it. This is our everyday vehicle. This is what we use going back and forth, getting groceries, stuff like that. Bug drives it. She loves it. I love it. I mean, it's good. It hauls our camper. We got a camper over there. That's another project that I've got going on, along with that other trailer. Probably see videos on those. But let's go ahead and drop the oil. Alright, while that's draining, go ahead and change my air filter. Real simple. Pull the cover off, pull the air filter out, put the new in. You can see it's got some discoloration. Of course, it's been in there a while. I can see that it's got rust and stuff on it. But it's pretty dirty. Got the new one. As you can tell, clear, white, shiny. Definitely want to make sure to change that. You don't have to change it every time you service your vehicle. Vehicles are a little different than like what I work on. I work on tractors and stuff. So every time I service a tractor, I suggest changing the air filter because you're running in fields that have dirt, grime, and whatnot else. And that tends to plug up the air filter. And the way I like to describe it to people is that I have asthma and I know what it's like to not be able to breathe. So just like your engine has to be able to breathe to be able to run right. So when you start restricting that airway, it gets harder for it to breathe, and it starts, slugging down, and makes it so it's a little bit harder for it to run. But change the air filter every now and then. Like I said, my car's had it for 2 years. I might change it in the next oil change just because. And just like this, vehicles don't run in dirt, dust, unless you're running on back roads all the time. Gravel roads, stuff like that. You're probably going to want to change it more often. But like that one probably hasn't been changed in years. But it was definitely due. Check power steering. I checked this a while ago and it was fine. Yep, it's still good. Brake fluid's fine. I just put new brakes and a caliper on it. I had to put new rotors, brake pads. We had an incident where we broke down. One of the calipers busted. And it spewed all the oil out, and we ended up buying new rotors and one caliper, and I ended up doing all that. Bug actually talks about it in her videos. She has a YouTube channel called That Blessed Mess, and it was talked about in hers a little bit. There's more videos of me talking about stuff. There's a video on there when we busted the caliper, and which it's kind of stranded. We got had to put it on a trailer to haul it back home. Go ahead and check the antifreeze, which the antifreeze is a little low. Better add a little bit. Add a little bit here. This is just Prestone. It's Dex Cool because a lot of the newer vehicles, especially General Motors vehicles, take the Dex Cool and make sure you mix it 50-50. Normally, what I do is I'll buy a gallon of straight, put it in 2 jugs. I mean, it's definitely cheaper that way. You buy a gallon of straight, cheaper. Have another gallon, put it in half, and you fill the other half with distilled water. You don't want to put it in straight. I mean, you'll be mixing it pretty strong. But half and half is normally what you want. And I've already mixed this. This is stuff I've had laying around from before. Fill it up to the cold. Fill it up to the cold fill because it's not running hot, so that's good there. That's antifreeze there. What are you doing, Grizzly? Hey, what are you doing? Come here. You helping out? Yeah, you helping out? Are you a good kitty? So yeah, I catch all the mice, and I catch the rabbits and the ground squirrels, and pretty much eat everything except for the food that it's given to me. It's got food in the doghouse, and I fill up a decent sized bull, and it'll take him probably 3 weeks to eat on it. Maybe even longer than that. Because he does not prefer to have cat food. He prefers to have rabbit and ground squirrel and mice. Which, no big deal. Kill the mice because I don't want them in my garage. Is that right, buddy? Yeah. Look at this. I went to put my camera down, and he hops on my back. You can see him in the reflection on the bumper. That he is on my back. I have no idea why he's up there. And we're going to lay down. Probably take a nap. Don't worry about me. I'm just down here trying to set my camera up. He always needs attention. Always with me. Don't you? Huh? Yeah. Oh boy. Hey, can you get down? Come on. I gotta get up. He says, nope, I'm staying. Oh boy. Oh, finally gonna get down. Alright, so now inside of my thing here, go ahead and go in. Got the thing sitting down here, and it's about where I want it to be. It's about 50 degrees in here. This thing's a little off, but it's about 50 degrees in here, which is really good. All I need to do is keep it above 40, really. I wanted to keep it above 40. It's above 40. I'll have to see how it does on colder days. So, doing pretty good. I wish you could see him right now. He's on my back. Oh, this cat, I tell you. Okay, what I forgot to show you is how to reset it on the Taurus. I kind of already did it, but there's buttons over here on the side. Say info, setup, reset. So you'll hit the setup button till it goes to oil life, and it normally when I turn the key on, it shows a message that says oil change required. So hit that, and you'll go to oil life, and it'll say oil life 0, and then it'll say at the bottom hit or hold reset to new. So you hold it, and it'll say oil life set to 100%, and then you got to reset. All right, now to reset my light on the van. So over here on the side, this is not focusing. There we go. There's buttons here, and you gotta hit the info button. It'll come up, tell you all your information, and you go to the one where it says oil life. It says I have 12% remaining. I went ahead and changed this. It's close enough. Plus, like I said, I haven't changed it since it was new, and I don't know when it was changed. But over here on the side, there's a check mark. I'm going to go ahead and press and hold the check mark. And now it says 100% oil life remaining. Now it's reset. Alrighty, that'll be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe button, comment down below if you have any comments. Hit the little bell down there for notification for when my videos come up. Thanks for watching, and God bless you.